Hi guys, and welcome to episode 6 of the Great Sunderland Lockdown Quiz here on SAFC Fan TV. I hope everyone is coping the best they can at home during the lockdown, doing various jobs around the house, keeping it as clean as possible, but most importantly, spending quality time with your family. So kicking things off with quiz number 6, here is the first question. How many times have Sunderland reached the FA Cup final? So how many times have Sunderland reached the FA Cup final? Question number 2. What former Sunderland defender was part of Roy Hodgson's Euro 2016 England squad? So what former Sunderland defender was part of Roy Hodgson's Euro 2016 England squad? Question number 3. Who scored Sunderland's first goal in a 2-0 win at the Stadium of Light against Burnley in January 2015? So who scored Sunderland's first goal in a 2-0 victory at the Stadium of Light against Burnley in January 2015? Question number 4. After a comical own goal by Nabil Sarr to put Sunderland 1-0 up in the 2019 League One playoff final, who scored Charlton's equalising goal to make it 1-1? So after a comical own goal by Nabil Sarr to put Sunderland 1-0 up in the 2019 League One playoff final, who scored Charlton's equalising goal to make it 1-1 that day? Question number 5. When did Sunderland last beat Liverpool at the Stadium of Light? So when did Sunderland last beat Liverpool at the Stadium of Light? Question number 6. In January 2019, Sunderland signed striker Will Grigg for £3 million, making him League One's most expensive ever signing. But how many years did he spend at his previous club, Wigan Athletic? So in January 2019, Sunderland signed striker Will Grigg for £3 million, making him League One's most expensive ever signing, but how many years did he spend at his previous club, Wigan Athletic? Pardon me. Question number 7. In April 2017, Sunderland suffered a 1-0 defeat off Bournemouth to relegate us from the Premier League. But who were the midfielders that started that game? So in April 2017, Sunderland suffered a 1-0 defeat off Bournemouth, which ended up us going down from the Premier League that day. But who are the midfielders that started in that game? Question number 8. What Danish goalkeeper did Sunderland sign in 1998 to replace Lionel Perez? Question number 8. What Danish goalkeeper did Sunderland sign in 1998 to replace Lionel Perez? Question number 9. Who did former Sunderland midfielder Jordan Henderson score his first Premier League goal against? So who did former Sunderland midfielder Jordan Henderson, now Liverpool captain, score his first Premier League goal for Sunderland against? Who did he score his first Premier League goal against for Sunderland? And finally, question number 10. What former Sunderland defender started in the 2008 Champions League final? So what former Sunderland defender started in the 2008 Champions League final, which was held in Moscow? So guys, it's now time for the part you've all been waiting for, which is for me to reveal the answers. So in question 1, I asked you how many times have Sunderland reached the FA Cup final? How many times has Sunderland reached the FA Cup final? And the answer was 4. First coming back in 1913 against Aston Villa. Then in 1937 when we beat Preston 3-1 at Wembley. Then 1973 when we beat the mighty Leeds 1-0. Ian Porterfield scoring that day, Bobby Kerr lifting the cup. And finally was 1992 against Liverpool. A 2-0 win for Liverpool that day. Question number 2, I asked you what former Sunderland defender was part of Roy Hodgson's Euro 2016 England squad. So what former Sunderland defender was part of Roy Hodgson's Euro 2016 England squad? And the answer was Danny Rose, left back Danny Rose, who he had on loan in the 2012-13 season. Question number 3. Who scored Sunderland's first goal in the 2-0 victory at the Stadium of Light against Burnley in January 2015? So who scored Sunderland's first goal in the 2-0 victory against Burnley at the Stadium of Light in January 2015? And the answer was Connor Wickham. It was a header from Connor Wickham. Question number 4. After a comical own goal by Nabil Sarr to put Sunderland 1-0 up in the 2019 League One playoff final, who scored Charlton's equalising goal to make it 1-1? So who scored Charlton's equalising goal to make it 1-1 in the 2019 League One playoff final? And it was Ben Purrington. It was midfielder Ben Purrington. Question number 5. When did Sunderland last beat Liverpool at the Stadium of Light? So question number 5. When did Sunderland last beat Liverpool at the Stadium of Light? You're probably thinking it was Darren Bent's beach ball goal in the 1-0 win back in 2009. I'll tell you you're wrong. I can tell you it was March 2012. It was the same scoreline, a 1-0 win. But it was Nicholas Bednar who scored the goal that day for Sunderland. So Sunderland's last victory against Liverpool at the Stadium of Light was back in March 2012, a 1-0 win, and Nicholas Bednar scored for Sunderland that day. So question number 6. In January 2019, Sunderland signed striker Will Grigg for £3 million to make him League One's most expensive ever signing. But what I wanted to know was how many years did he spend at his previous club, Wigan Athletic? So how many years did Will Grigg spend at his previous club, Wigan Athletic? And the answer was 4. He spent 4 years at his previous club, Wigan Athletic. Question number 7. In April 2017, Sunderland suffered a 1-0 defeat against Bournemouth, which ended us getting relegated from the Premier League that day. But who were the midfielders that started in the game? So who were the midfielders that started in the 1-0 defeat against Bournemouth in April 2017 at the Stadium of Light, which ended up us getting relegated from the Premier League? And the answers were Didier Ndong, Stephen Pienaar, and also Wabi Kazri were the 3 midfielders that started for Sunderland in that game. Question number 8. What Danish goalkeeper did Sunderland sign in 1998 to replace Lionel Perez? So what Danish goalkeeper did Sunderland sign in 1998 to replace Lionel Perez? The answer was Thomas Sorensen. Thomas Sorensen. Always remember that penalty save he did against Alan Shearer. Question number 9. Who did former Sunderland midfielder Jordan Henderson score his first Premier League goal for Sunderland against? So who did former Sunderland midfielder Jordan Henderson, now Liverpool captain, score his first Premier League goal for Sunderland against? The answer was Manchester City. It was in a 4-3 defeat at Manchester City in December 2009. And the final question of today's quiz. What former Sunderland defender started in the 2008 Champions League final, which was held in Moscow? So what former Sunderland defender started in the 2008 Champions League final, which was held in Moscow? And the answer was Wes Brown. It was Wes Brown. He was playing for Manchester United that evening. Guys, once again, thank you for joining us. I hope you're staying safe, following government guidelines, having the best possible and quality time with your family at this moment. And as Sunderland fans say, keep the faith. We will get through this one day. We are Sunderland, and we are Sunderland till we die.